Disaster Talk, where disaster is the talk of your town. I'm the Executive Director for Grace Community Services. Here joining us today will be Javardrick Warfield. He is a coach with the Grace Community Services education team. And he's here today to just talk a little bit about the community festival that Grace put on. You were a huge component with our Kids Zone. So, Jay, is it okay if I call you Jay?
Yes, please call me Jay.
Awesome,
yes.
Awesome. Jay, what was the community fair like for you as an individual? And then we'll talk a little bit about it being for you as a coach.
From an individual standpoint, I think it's awesome that an organization like Grace Community Services came out and brought such different diversity as far as resources, food, and something for the kids to come out and build upon in their communities, such as Galveston or Texas City. I think it was awesome. An excellent opportunity for people to reconnect with resources and people they haven't seen since the disaster. As a coach, I think it was awesome. It's an opportunity for me to meet new kids and also give them opportunity to engage in different activities and different settings with different people that can help them recover from any disaster that they might still be dealing with.
Mm-hmm. What was the Kids Zone like?
Oh, the Kids Zone was 5 different components that touched every level of a kid, from being able to express themselves. We had some MHMR counselors come out and they did a session called Let's Talk About It, which they sat down with the kids on their level at middle school, elementary, and preschool kids. They can vent as much as they want. They had an activity where they pulled out a big quilt, and whatever came to their mind, they had the opportunity to express it through drawing, through writing a poem or picture on that quilt. And at the end, they just held up the quilt and they were able to express and just show what they thought of a disaster from their mindset.
Oh, now, you know, that's awesome, because a lot of times when disaster strikes, we focus on healing the adults.
Yes.
And our kids are important too. That's what I hear you saying.
Yes, I'll piggyback a little bit off what you're saying. In a disaster in any community, or small or big, the adults are running around trying to do whatever they can to get back on their feet, but the kids are left out. So what happens? The kids are running around, get in trouble, or find habits or different things to pick up. What we do as far as the education department, we get with those kids, create avenues for them to be constructive instead of destructive. And that's what the Kids Zone was. We had something where they created their own kids version of a disaster kit for 72 hours. While the parents are running around, they got to take care of this. What are the kids doing? So they gave them an opportunity to create their own personalized kids disaster kit, which is awesome. Inside of that was things that the kids would use, such as hand sanitizers, coloring books, or little hand personal radios, little toiletries, anything that a kid would need in their level. And they personalized it, put their name, maybe their family or a pet, or anything that reminded them of something positive before the disaster.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Disaster preparation boxes for kids.
Yes.
That says a whole nother message to me. It says that you guys are putting something in their mind, hopefully, that as they become an adult, they won't forget that you do have to be prepared.
Definitely. The saying goes, you must be prepared before, during, and after. And the way we look at it, you should be prepared if you're a little child, a teenager, or a young adult, or even a senior citizen. We just attacked the young kids at this particular event, so they'll know what to do before. If it's a storm going on, it's time to evacuate, they need to know exactly what numbers to be able to contact, even get with the parents to have a meeting location that they can go to if they're ever out of pocket. Definitely need to have their address memorized, some important numbers, maybe the parent's real name instead of mother or father, their parent's real name. Some important information as a kid. If you are lost or misplaced or displaced, they can get you back to where you need to be.
Tell me about the Kids Zone. What all activities were inside of the Kids Zone?
Those are 5 points, 5 different areas of the Kids Zone. The first point, when the kids come in, a lot of them have the wall up. They don't know, it's an unfamiliar setting. So we have something we call the crunk session. The crunk session is we have a DJ, we have a flow. the universal language is usually music. Everyone can relate to music. So we have a crunk session where we have the music and they have a little chants that are very kid-friendly. So it gets them to bring their wall down, and it's awesome, exciting. That makes them real comfortable because they know that music is a universal language again. From there, we have rotations. The kids go again to a session called Let's Talk About It, where they're able to express any feelings or emotions. They have a group setting, and if some of the kids need more one-on-one, they have extended counselors that can do some one-on-one. Second, they go into a creative session where the tops of these kids or these disaster kits, they can go and personalize their paints, the artistic level of the kid is expressed in these kits. They put their name, their family, their dog, anything that makes them smile or feel positive. From there, they go into another rotation where they are taught the things that go inside of a disaster kit for a kid. And that's probably the most exciting part, in my opinion, next to the crunk session, where the kids learn what is it in this box, what do I do with it, and why should I have it in the box. So there's an educational setting from there. And then we usually wrap it up with some station called WeBox, where there's fun, they get to play games, and that's where they just really wrap up the whole Kid Zone with just playing games. They have the Guitar Hero, they have the Wii's where it's interactive, it's engaging, and when the kids leave, they all leave with a smile and something in their hand to remind them to be prepared and ready for a disaster.
That is totally awesome. The WeBox.
WeBox.
So when you said WeBox, I envisioned a room full of TVs,
yes,
video,
yes,
games, like an arcade.
Yes, full arcade. I believe it's around 12 to 15 full high-def flat screen TVs, PlayStations, Wii's, Guitar Hero. They're playing the guitars, playing the drums. They're all over the place having a good time, smiling, and they're making new friends that they can contact and engage with. Again, it just brings everyone closer together.
Now, I heard on the street that the kids were coming.
Yes, the kids are coming, yes.
And someone told me that you guys do a parade through the festival screaming, the kids are coming.
Yes, definitely. The kids are coming. It's a parade. Again, the design of the Kid Zone was to let the parents go and get what they need and get resources and talk to people and get whatever they need as in the adult arena. Mm-hmm. The kids, we isolate them, take them away from them, and we watch them and take care of them. So people who did not bring their kids or people that were so distracted with getting it, we made sure that they knew the kids were coming. So they had a grand marshal style parade. They would come through the middle of the festival with the drums, the horns. They would throw candy, and the kids would transition from the Kid Zone to another area called the Littles, which is a puppet show.
A puppet show.
A kid-friendly puppet show that is designed to inform kids more about disasters. Yes, a puppet show.
Through the use of puppets.
Through the use of puppets.
You taught kids about disaster preparation.
Yes, ma'am. Again, we try to reach the kids from every level, from preschool, middle school, on the way up to high school. So we had different levels. We even had a movie room where kids can watch the movies if they're just wasn't quite into what we were doing. They had movies they can be entertained. I think some of the movies that were shown was The Princess and the Frog.
Oh,
yes.
That's my favorite.
The Chipmunks and
the Chipmunks, wow.
Yes.
You know, I'm excited about what you're saying because as disaster is occurring and the parents are trying to get their lives back to some sense of normalcy or even their new norm, being able to have peace of mind that I can go to a function, drop my kids off in a Kid Zone, and it's so well organized. How many people worked in the Kid Zone?
There are 3 levels to the Kid Zone as far as workers.
3 levels.
3 levels.
Now you said you had 5 points, and now you got 3 levels.
3 levels. You have, of course, the Kid Zone director, who are 3 of us that make sure that the transition of everything is going right, and the kids are safe. 2, and they're having fun. The next level would be the facilitators, the people at each station that are running these classes or these activities, that they are on point. There's an interview process. You just can't, well, you want to help? Okay, cool. No. There's a qualified, they're all certified teachers, some being in HISD, some in Fort Bend. I think one is in Katy.
Wow.
Yes, they're all certified teachers, and the MHMR are all licensed counselors. So we did not pick anyone up from the street or just running around that like to work with kids. No. And then the third level is we have volunteer trained volunteers. They have to come to a 4-hour volunteer training class to even volunteer with us.
4 hours?
Yes,
volunteer. You got people to actually come and get 4 hours of training before you worked in the kids zone.
That is correct. In this training, we definitely go over the way the Grace Community Services, how we expect to do things and how we're going to do things. And at the same time, that gives us opportunity, a win-win situation where we see how these people interact and they see how we do things. And also, before we ever put anyone around a child, we do a background check.
Round of applause.
Amen.
Yes, that's awesome.
Definitely.
That's awesome. You guys truly do believe in safety.
Yes. I don't know how you would feel if you had someone around your child that was not criminally. Yes,
yes, I do understand that.
That.
Let me ask you as we wrap up and we wind down. First, just before I ask you the question, I want you to know how gracious the staff and myself are to you for coming on the Ruse List.
Yes.
The Ruse List show was put together to teach and educate the case management community on all the things that are available for them as we transition and turn down some of our programs. The Kids Zone, I wanted people to hear from the coach to know how important that day not only was for the families who came through, but it was important that the case managers were able to be on the spot to render the service to the families and give a holistic approach to the mother, to the father, to the grandparent that had kids, to know that they could trust that they would be taken care of. And so I want to tell you, the work that you do is just, it's outstanding.
Thank you.
And everybody can't do what you do.
That is true.
Everyone can't handle kids. Some people don't even want to be around kids for long lengths of time. And so I want to say the work you do, we appreciate it from the community. But let me ask before we go, how long have you personally been dealing with kids?
I've been working with kids professionally close to 10 years. Close to 10 years. My background is education. Before I became a coach, I was a math director for all boys private school in Houston Independent School District. So I've always been around kids, and after that I had the opportunity to become a coach and a mentor with Grace Community Services.
Awesome. Well, I also heard that you played basketball professionally.
That is true. I did have a stint of playing professional basketball overseas.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes,
again, Mr. Warfield,
yes.
We appreciate all that you do in the line of work that you do. I personally want to thank you and commend all of the things that you do with all kids. You know, it's special. And I would say this to all of the Ruse List listeners. It's special to have life coaches, mentors. You know, it takes a village to raise a child. Somebody is sitting out there right now. They're looking for child care services, tutoring services. You might even be looking for the right college to send your kid to. I would say go on the Ruse List. Push the hot button. You never know what's there. We might have just found the right resource for you. Remember, join me next time. I'm Ruama Camp with Grace Community Services, and you've been listening to Disaster Talk.